Asian medley. Just 2 ingredients for this dish. Orange juice, soy sauce, that's what makes it Asian. We've got a pork loin here for slicing into medallions, which will be thinly sliced. And when you're going to do something thinly sliced, get your knife sharp. I got a whole video on this little honey in my gadget hacks series of videos. I got this on Amazon cheap, and all you do is just slide it across there like that. Somebody pointed out on my video that I was doing it like this, and that's true. That was wrong. Lazy man makes mistakes. What you do is you just pull it across. That's the rough grind, and then for a finer grind right here. Anyway, just make sure your knife's sharp, however you sharpen it. Now, I freeze these things for about, well, I don't freeze them, but I put them in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Any meat, actually, when you're going to thin slice, that helps. And we want thin ones. We're going to do just like 1/8 of an inch here. That's why we call them medallions. That's a fancy word for thin slice. A medallion. See there? Nice sharp knife gets those nice and thin. This is the key to this particular meal. Sliced up pork, ready for action. Whoops, that's not my smoke alarm. That's my timer. Fire in the hole. That's how you know your oil's hot enough. Toss a little water in there. Now when you're putting meat in the skillet, a hot skillet, lay it forward. There's less chances burning off your fingers. Now we're just searing these dudes on both sides. See, that's what you call a sear. And get all 3 of them done. Get you some frozen vegetables. I always for this dish, I always like to get some with water chestnuts. That, to me, that says Asian. They really get the party started. Now here's where I mixed up the soy sauce and the orange juice together. They're unlikely mates, but boy, they create one of that, what do they call, synthesis, where the sum is greater than the parts. We've turned this heat down, by the way, to low once I put the vegetables in. Now, put this in here. Get them all mixed up with the medallions. All right. Then we're going to find our cover, which needs it got a little singe the other day when I did something in the oven. I got to look into that. All right, now cover it, and we're going to let that simmer. I've got to think about how long. I think maybe half an hour, and we'll check on it. While we're waiting on that, man, this is a lazy man godsend, these little packages of rice from all kinds of brands. But look at there, 90 seconds. That's put my poor old rice cooker about as useless as an old shoe. You just tear off the corner, put her in your microwave. 90 seconds. There it is. Yep, about 30 minutes on low was good enough for these babies. They are ready to party. This isn't a wok, or I'd call it wok and roll. Now the rice is hot and ready to be bothered. Some of you who have watched my other videos know I just use my big boy spatula with holes in it to do my draining of grease and so on, instead of a colander or whatever. Those things are just something else to get dirty and clean. Okay, on top of the rice. Now this dish presents itself. So good chopsticks can't even keep up. Mm-hmm.